You love to see it. Outlaws 13U, congratulations on a successful tournament this past weekend, going 5-0. Get ready for that. 5-0. We played phenomenal this past weekend, and I think that a highlight reel video doesn't even justify how well we played. It was an absolutely fantastic weekend full of good offense, good pitching, and some great defensive showcases. And, it was such a great way to end the season. Both teams, they got their championship respectively, but this championship felt a little bit more special in terms of what happened throughout this tournament. And as you guys watch through this highlight video, you'll begin to see why. I hope you guys enjoy. And without further ado, here we go again. And we're going to kick off the weekend highlights here in Game 1. The Hit and Run Outlaws are taking on the OOTP Cyclones. We have Fish in the batter's box who's swinging and misses right there, but Tone is able to steal second easily. With that stolen base, Tone moves into scoring position, and Evan Fisher sends him on home with a line drive single up the middle. Tone riding third, he's heading home. The throw comes in from center, and he has to hit the deck, and he's safe. Fisher advances to second on the throw, and it's 1-0 Outlaws just like that. And what felt like an eternity with Connor Hale, he fights, I think, 8 or 9 pitches in this at-bat. I'm not sure exactly, but it's still 1-2. He keeps fouling off pitches, and he gets the job done here by putting the ball in play. The second baseman makes an error, and it scoots out to right center field. Fisher comes up home easily, and Connor Hale puts the ball in play and sends Fisher home. 2-0 Outlaws here in the first. As you guys can see, the score definitely has changed a lot since that first inning. We lost a decent amount of footage of this weekend, and as the highlight reel goes on, you might begin to notice some different things we try to do to fix that. But our apologies for not getting the full game captured for some games, but we are going to kick it off right here in the third inning. Decals tries to lay a bunt down before, but he fouls it straight back, and he's down at 3-2 right here. Has to get on base with a runner on third, that being of Jack Kelly, and he hooks the ball towards the third baseman. It gets out of his reach. Kelly scores, and Kelly reaches second on a single right there. The domination of Kelly's on that play. Now, he didn't really get that many bat highlights from this game, but I would be remiss if I didn't show you this amazing jumping play by Mr. Big Money himself. Connor Hale pulls it out of thin air and throws a strike over to first base to get the first out of the inning. Connor Hale was not only sensational with his glove, but he was sensational with his arm as he goes 5 complete innings with this small little chopper right in front of home plate. Trevor throws a strike across the diamond to get him out at first base, and that would be the end of Game 1. The Outlaws finish out with a score of 9-5, and with 9 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error, they solidify themselves with an easy 4-run victory against the OOTP Cyclones. They would begin their first game of the tournament with a record of 1-0, and just like that, we are on to Game 2. And here we are in Game 2. The Hit and Run Outlaws are taking on Northeast Pride Prospects. And we're here in the bottom of the first inning. The Outlaws are down 1-0. And I got to give a shout out to Tyler Wright, coming away with just giving up 1 run after getting to bases loaded and 1 out. We're going to start here with a swing and a miss strikeout for him. That'll be out number 2 of the inning. And then for out number 2 right here, he gets a ball that's hit to the right side. Evan Fisher easily grabs it and basically walks over the first base and gets the third out of the inning. Way to get out of that jam, Tyler. Now we're here in the top of the third inning with Tyler Wright at the plate. He can do it all. He can hit and he can pitch. I would call this his legacy game, but unfortunately it's not the case. Someone does happen to have a pretty legacy moment later on. But Tyler Wright does do a good thing for the Outlaws here as he puts the ball in play with a soft dribbler to the third baseman, allowing D. Kelly to score, and he gets to first and beats out an infield single. It's now 2-1 Prospects, and we're starting to put a charge in for a comeback right now. And talk about a guy we picked off of waivers this week. Trevor Hopp comes through for the Outlaws this weekend in a huge way, not only with his defense, but with his bat. And he does help us here as he goes from a 2-1 count and sends this ball on the ground to the second baseman. He does ground out, but the run scores, and the Outlaws have tied this game up at 2 as Brett Palladino comes across and scores. After the RBI ground out from Trevor Hopp, we got Mr. Portante at the plate here. And as much as this hit does help out the Outlaws here, I would also be remiss if I didn't show the third baseman snatching this ball out of the air and making this a competitive play, but he doesn't have time with the speed of Portante running down the baseline, allowing Jack Kelly to score. And just like that, the Outlaws are back in the lead with a 3-2 lead. We're going to come here to the fourth inning as Brett Palladino, number 2, steps up with bases loaded and 2 out. Needs to put the ball in play to help out the Outlaws here and drive home at least 1 run. And that's exactly what he does. He finds the 3-4 hole. He digs it out to first base, and Fisher crosses home. It is 4-2 Outlaws. Now we got Jacob Lurie stepping up here with first and third and 2 out. And I must say, I'm shocked that this third baseman even decides to use his glove again, as it goes straight through his glove and down the left field line. D. Kelly once again scores and adds another run to the Outlaws lead. It's 5-2. The pitcher isn't giving you something to hit, you might as well not help him. And Brett Palladino does just that. He spits on 4 balls, and that's another RBI in the books for him. I must say the Outlaws are insane when it comes to free agency and picking up guys off of waivers, because Jax Meyer comes through with a huge line drive to add even more insurance after a D. Kelly single, which unfortunately got lost in the footage. But a huge hit to add some insurance to the Outlaws lead. And remember how I was saying before that it probably wasn't Tyler Wright's legacy game, and no offense to him, he played great this game. But if we take a look at the mound right here, we have a guy by the name of Brady Sanito who's making his pitching debut as a hit-and-run Outlaw, and he's well known for having the nastiest knuckleball in the game. And he has to take some warm-up pitches here, obviously, to get ready, but I don't think the Northeast prospects knew what was coming their way. Even Jax was thrown off here by how good this knuckleball was. I mean, what pitcher starts off with an off-speed pitch like that? That ball had some movement. Now, despite Brady walking the first batter, the second batter had to witness the nastiest knuckleball in the game. He stood no chance. There's out number 1. You also could see me there jumping out of the dugout. Good for Brady. And to finish off his pitching debut, he gets the third out of the inning here with a soft ground ball to the right side. D. Kells scoops it up and throws it to Hale and locks down a 2-0 day for the Outlaws. A 10-3 victory right there, but a 2-0 record finish for the Saturday portion of the games. The Outlaws finish this one 10-3, and the stat line goes 10 runs, 13 hits, and 0 errors. They secure the number 4 seed with a 2-0 record, and based off of runs against, that's how they determine it. They would go on to face the 4 seed, and that would be the next day, so we'll see you there. And here we are, day 2, game 3. The playoffs begin against the Victus Vandals. Evan Fisher gets a strikeout right here after getting into bases loaded and 1 out and walk a run in. But he does come firing back with 2 straight strikeouts and sets the tone that he's ready and he's figured it out. And in the bottom half of the first inning, the Outlaws get bases loaded themselves and find a way to cash in with their free agent signing number 7, Trevor Hobb. And he sits on an 0-2 pitch after fouling the ball back, and he rips the ball down the left field line. And a run crosses easily, and the Outlaws tie it. And with a Brady Sanito walk right here, another run crosses. It's 2-1 Outlaws, and we regain the lead. And here comes Brett. He's been pouring on a lot of RBIs this tournament so far, and he shows nothing more right here. A looper to left center field. 1 run scores. Trevor Hobb rounds third, and he comes home to score. But off camera, a very scary incident right here. Brady Sanito out at third, but he clanks his head against the defender's knee right here. And unfortunately, that would be the play that takes him out of the game, and unfortunately, for the rest of the tournament. A very scary moment right there, something we don't want to see. But we decide to take off at second base. But the pitcher balks right here, as we can see the umpire throw his hands up. That is a balk. D. Kelly scores, and that's another run for the Outlaws. It is 5-1. Very quick thing to commentate here. A little tap on the head allows him to go to first base, and a run scores with a hit by pitch. Evan Fisher is part Shohei Ohtani because he absolutely mashes baseballs, but unfortunately this is going to be a sac fly for him here. A run does come across as Portante stands up easily. That's another run. That's 7 runs in 2 innings for the Outlaws. Tyler Wright mashing doubles. He finds the gap right here, slips underneath the left fielder's glove right here, and he's standing up on second easily. How about it? How about Tyler Wright, ladies and gentlemen? And in an excellent effort to come all the way back after that rough and shaky first inning, Evan Fisher closes out his pitching performance here with a pop fly to the right side. Antonio Dominguez is camped underneath it and makes the catch. And the ball game is over. The Outlaws win the first game of the playoffs, and they're on to face the #1 seed Staten Island Orioles. Their stat line for Game 3 goes as follows. They have 8 runs, 4 hits, and 3 errors. And with the 8-3 victory, that sends them to a record of 3-0. And we are now off to Game 4. Alrighty, so it is day 2 of me recording this video. It's been a blast so far, but this is the moment where I want to take a moment to say, Brady, we're very sorry that you had to go through what you did at the end of that first game of day 2. The collision at third base, really set shockwaves through our team to try and get ready for the following games. And let's just say the #1 seed who hit the most runs out of any team in the entire pool stood absolutely no chance against us. Yeah, so we definitely had a good control over this game. He hits a fly ball to left field, but look at me say, win this for Sunito, baby. We're on to the championship, back-to-back weeks. The 13U Outlaws are playing for yet another championship. And the stats, they are off the charts this game. The Outlaws pick up a 16-0 victory. Enough said. 10 hits on the day. Held the other team to 0, and they are off to play the #2 seeded FB Braves. Who doesn't love chips as the Outlaws are taking on the FB Braves? Tone starts things off on the top of the first inning with a sacrifice fly, allowing Jacob Laurie to tag up and score. The all-important first run for the Outlaws is right there. D. Miller gets into third safely, as the tag was just off the mark right there, and D. Mill goes to third. From 1-0 to down 3-1, the FB Braves storm back with 3 runs in the first. But Trevor Hopp puts the ball in play and makes it just a 1-run lead for the Braves as he beats out an infield error, allowing Dylan Miller to score, and it's a 1-run ball game. Decal works 3-0 and draws ball 4, and the Outlaws tie it. They come from 3-1 back to 3-3 here in the top of the 4th inning with 2 outs and bases loaded for Jake Kloss. Now, Jake Kloss is going to Cooperstown this week, but he decided to help out for us this tournament. And, he had a rough start on the mound, I would say. But Mike Pena describes this pitch right here as the hit-by pitch of his life. And the Outlaws have the lead in the championship game. Unfortunately, the camera did die on us behind the plate, but I decided to whip out my phone and try to get at least some footage. And I did fortunately get this RBI ground out from Tone. The runner from third heads home. That's D-Mel. That's Blue Texas. And he's safe. And Tone gives a thumbs up. Despite the lost footage, we did at least get the most important inning, the final one. A muff at shortstop, but we do get the force out at second base for the first out of the inning. We do have a runner on first, so we need to be aware of. The sun glaring like you can't imagine. And a ball smoked to left field. But Jay Mills is underneath it for the second out of the inning. The Outlaws are 1 out away, but it would not be easy as the next runner would get on base with a single. For one final time, Coach Daggs gives his final mound visit of the year to try and lock the defense in for one final out. Can the Outlaws win this championship today? Wait a minute. I'm getting word. Hold on a second. I think I'm getting word that there might actually be another camera watching this game right now. Oh, would you look at this? We have a drone shot footage for the final out of the game, thanks to Mr. Miller, who provided the drone coverage. And we are going to use this footage to cover the last out of the game. Dylan Miller, with 2 outs and bases loaded, has to start off this at-bat with a strike. And he does on the inside corner. 0-1. The Outlaws need to lock it in. And there it is! The final out is recorded by Antonio Dominguez. The Outlaws survive with bases loaded. Unbelievable. Snow with an acrobatic play out of right field sends everybody home. And for back-to-back weeks, the Outlaws are champions again. Unbelievable game and an unbelievable finish. These boys worked absolutely hard to get to their main goal. 3 straight games on day 2, and they pummeled the #1 seed in game 2. Great defense, excellent hitting, and smart decisional thinking from these kids right here. We throw up hearts for Sunito. You are not out of our thoughts 1 second that game and that tournament. Thank you, guys, for an amazing season, and I will see you all soon. I've been Coach Daggs.